is a naval air station somewhere in the United States or one of its possessions. Maybe it's your naval. Here, hundreds of men and women, military and civilian, are assigned to hundreds of various duties. Along the flight line, in the hangars and shops, in administration. Most of these men and women are conscious of existing hazards to personal safety and the protection of government property. Some, unfortunately, are not. If every unsafe act, every accident occurring on every naval air station during a period of 1 year were suddenly to happen here in a single moment, your naval air station would look something like this. A scene of complete devastation. A scene of violent injury and death. Destruction more thorough than that wrought by the shelling of Tarawa in World War II. What happened? What can you do to prevent its happening here? Let's go back to the flight line of your naval air station. Accidents, like people, often get started pretty early in the morning. This one is about to take place on a ramp. 0640 on the flight line. A routine fueling operation in process, the 4th this morning. 7 more to go. Then coffee time. Oops, spilled a little there. Probably should have it washed down. But it'll evaporate in no time at all. Let's get moving. What's the next one, Charlie? Yes, fuel does evaporate quickly, giving off highly volatile vapors in the process. Now, if anyone were smoking a cigarette on that APU approaching the aircraft, but of course no one's that foolish. Why, just a little spark could... No, it wasn't a cigarette. Just a spark from the auxiliary power unit. Result? A man seriously burned and perhaps blinded. 1 aircraft destroyed. Avoidable? Of course. But if a spillage does occur, you've still got 2 choices. You can wash it down with a hose. Or someone can remain on the scene to warn others of the existing hazard until it is fully evaporated. Aircraft fuel has but one purpose, and that is to power an aircraft. It should never be used as a cleaning solvent. Consider the potential toll in just this one hangar. Millions of dollars in naval aircraft and equipment. The lives of a dozen men. The use of a prescribed cleaning solvent will eliminate this potential hazard. The time is now 0723. The pilot of this Navy jet is scheduled for a takeoff at 0800. His flight is going to be delayed. That power unit is about to pull away. It's not a long walk back to the hangar, but Jake decides to hitch a ride. All aboard? Jake's chest has been crushed. He'll spend 4 hours on the operating table, but it won't save him. What caused this fatal accident? When the power unit was started, the gear had been left in reverse position. Actually, 3 safety rules were broken. The application of any one of the 3 would have prevented the fatal injury. Number 1, line vehicles should always be parked parallel to an aircraft. Number 2, a parked vehicle should always be left with the gear in neutral position. Number 3, ride a line vehicle only when there is a seat provided. Remember, a round trip on foot always beats a one-way ride. 0830. The morning is still young, but another accident is about to occur, this time in one of the machine shops. Wilbur is a new recruit. In fact, this is his first day. His first assignment is to open that crate. Now, that shouldn't be too difficult. Just take a hammer and chisel. But wait, what's that? A screwdriver and a wrench? Ouch! Lesson 1 on how not to open a crate. A practically new screwdriver with a broken tip. What now, Wilbur? An electric grinding wheel has many uses, but a new tip on a screwdriver? A sore hand and a metal sliver in his eye. A pretty costly lesson. At this rate, Wilbur can't afford the whole course. Now you've got the idea, Wilbur. Use the right tool for the job. Know where tools are stowed and keep them there when not in use. Don't use electric tools unless you are qualified, and then make use of the protective equipment provided. 10:40 now, and there hasn't been an accident for about 2 hours. Uh-oh. Let's check that hangar. Here's Big Mike. Unlike Wilbur, Mike's been around here a long time. Probably the best mechanic on the line. Big Mike should know better than to use that work stand. No guardrails. Kind of wobbly. It just might... Experience and know-how may reduce the possibility of an accident. It does not prevent it. Big Mike's moment of carelessness has just offset years of practiced safety. Though frequently used, work stands without guardrails are contrary to naval regulations. Work stands should also be checked for weakness before they are used. 11:15, and the black circle returns to the flight line, where a jet fighter is preparing for takeoff. There's Johnny, the plane captain, looking mighty pleased with himself. And why not? The jet's in tip-top shape, as its pilot will soon discover. Wind her up. What's the matter, Johnny? Look out, Johnny. Don't run back there. No, it wasn't fatal. But Johnny will be laid up for quite a spell with some mighty painful burns. Oh, yes. And then there's the matter of the jet fighter which was revving up behind Johnny's plane. That loose debris was hurled back into the jet intake, causing major damage to the engine. A whirling propeller is extremely dangerous. But a jet blast presents an even greater hazard. Never enter this shaded area when a jet is revving up, and never leave loose objects lying on the ramp. Stay clear also of the jet intake. And remember, even a cleaning rag left in this area can cause major damage if sucked in through the intake. With the noon hour approaching, the black circle forms on the electronics shop. Joe's shipmate is an electronics expert, and Joe's come to pick him up for lunch. Joe's always been fascinated with electronics. Seems much more interesting than being a mechanic. Wonder what this is for. Let's see if... Joe won't make it for lunch, today or ever. And Joe's shipmate is sure to remember never again to turn his back on a visitor with hot equipment in the shop. No warning ever carried more significance than this one. Heed it well. Heed it always. It's early afternoon now, and it looks as though we're going to have some action in Hangar 4. Ever hear of a person being accident-prone? Willie here might be a good example. There are usually a few like him on every naval air station. Check these hazards. A loose tool, which could catch on something. A wristwatch and a ring, either could catch on a protruding engine part. Coveralls, which are simply too large, so easy to trip over. Yes, Willie is just naturally sloppy, a walking hazard to his own safety. Has Willie ever had an accident before? Sure, several. Nothing too serious. Scratch here, bruise there, a cut finger, bump on the head. Like I said, he's accident-prone. Watch out! Oh, there he goes again. Guess he'll never learn. Neatness and safety go hand in hand. Coveralls that fit. No watches or rings. No loose tools dangling from the pockets. It's well worth the effort. Hello, what's going on over here? An aircraft on wing jacks is about to be lowered. Procedure's right so far. A man on each side to see that it's lowered evenly. Uh-oh, got a problem. The right landing gear oleo has stuck, and the mechanic is trying to jiggle it loose. But the top of that jack is no place for his hand. Well, he saved his hand, but look at that wing. Mighty expensive item, an aircraft wing. This accident could have been avoided simply by the mechanic having kept close watch on the point of contact between wing and jack. It's a good idea also to enlist the aid of a third man, so placed that he can watch both wings. The time is now 14:20. The accident circle appears again on the flight line. Jake is about to perform a routine task, inflate an aircraft tire. Jake is thinking about his blind date of the previous evening. Oh, what a doll. Long, blonde hair. Nice personality. And man, could she dance. Fortunately, Jake was not seriously injured, but the damage to the aircraft proved costly. The air pressure system can be dangerous, especially for a daydreamer. High and low pressure systems are plainly marked. The man who thinks before he acts is a safe man to himself and to his organization. 15:42, and our scene moves to a hangar. The previous accident occurs rarely. This one occurs. Tommy is unaware of the spilled oil directly ahead of him. A minor accident, but one which could easily have been avoided. Spilled oil should always be wiped up immediately. Toolboxes or other objects should never be left where someone might trip over them. Good housekeeping in hangar or shop or on the flight line is a must toward safety. It's late afternoon now. Duties are coming to a close. It's been an interesting day for Wendell. First time he's worked in the cockpit of a jet. Baby. Oh, well, time to secure for the day. Wendell was lucky. Just a broken leg, a few cracked ribs, and severe bruises and lacerations. What happened? Wendell forgot for a moment that the cockpit of a jet is loaded with automatic controls and switches. Endeavoring to hoist himself up, pilot ejection seat. You have seen but a few examples of accidents which occur and have occurred on your naval air stations, along the flight line, in the hangars, and in the shops, wherever military or civilian personnel are assigned to duty. The unsafe condition, as well as the unsafe act, is invariably caused by one or more individuals who do not stop to think, who do not stop to consider that this can happen here. It doesn't have to happen, and it won't happen if each of us remembers that safety is no accident. And no accident means a healthier, a happier future for you and you and you.